Pittsburgh, Minnesota tonight. Vikings 3-point favorite, 43.5. I have to pass on this because I'm doing the Thursday night game and the pregame show. I will give out. I have a nice hot streak going now. This would be 2 in a row if I hit this. I'm going to pass on it. I will say this: Pittsburgh coming off a brutal physical game, draining game against the Ravens. Maybe that figures into my pick. Parlay Kid, I think you're thinking along those lines by taking Minnesota here.
Absolutely, Sal. I don't really ever love betting on Minnesota and Kirk Cousins. I rarely do it, but I'm doing it here. Like you said, Pittsburgh coming off a real physical game last week. I know Pittsburgh's getting healthy too right now, but what is it about Pittsburgh now? We're going to be jumping back on Pittsburgh's bandwagon here. I really don't understand it. They've let us down this year too before. Cousins, like Harry says, I mean, if you want to look at just straight numbers, his numbers are really good. They have talent, whether Cook is playing or if he's not playing. They find a way they can run the ball with Madison almost equally as well. He almost looks like Cook when he's out there. They have a very nice receiving core as well. Jefferson is an elite receiver. I don't know, Cousins we know struggles at these in these games. I'm going to be coming back with a prop against Cousins. I just think Minnesota gets their act together for this one night. They're talented enough to do it. How many bad losses can they have? I think they're kind of angry. I think coach is angry after that debacle against the Lions. They bounce back and they cover the 3 here, Sal.
We've seen, we could make this case for every team, right? That they've had at least every good team, every playoff-bound team close to the playoffs has had at least one stinker of a game. Now,
yes,
the Steelers, I think most of us just wrote off as they're just plain bad, But I don't know what they do, but Big Ben always seems to have one quarter where he could keep it alive. Their offense could look terrible for 2 hours, and then he lights up. And Minnesota, we've seen them blow a game every single way. So this is very tough to pick. And then you add the 3 days in there. I don't know. Brother Bry, you feel like you have an edge on this?
Yeah, I do like the Steelers here +3. Like, I will never bet Kirk Cousins in a primetime game. Wow. We talked about this last time. He's 8-17 in his career in primetime. Let's not forget he lost to Cooper Rush this year. That's how good he is. But the Steelers continue to be very good as underdogs. They're 5-2 against the spread this season as an underdog. They appear to be pretty healthy. Ben, the one thing about Ben, like you said, in that second half, he looked really good against the Ravens. I think, again, this is going to be a really, you might be without Cook. Thielen's not playing. I think it's going to be a really, really close game. So I think you have to take the points here, knowing the way the Vikings have played all year long. You got to take the points. All
right, Harry, you're approaching this a different way, but you also like Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Steelers over 20 points in the game at -116. I think the Vikings are toast after blowing that game to Detroit. They're now 30th in yards against in the league, 25th in points against. Steelers win against Baltimore, keeps their playoff hopes alive. 5 of the last 8 games Pittsburgh has played, they've managed to score 20 or more. Minnesota's given up 20 or more, 7 straight games. I think Minnesota's done here. I wrote them for the beginning of the season up until midway point. I'm off them. I'm taking Pittsburgh to score at least 20 on Thursday night.
Wow, this is big of you, Harry. You're only giving out. Okay, so just in a matter of a week, you switched allegiances from the Giants, who you rooted for 71 years now, and now you're a Washington fan, and now, and in addition to that, you're off of Minnesota. You love Kirk Cousins.
Again, Cousins. Yeah, Darren's right. Look at the stats on Cousins. They're phenomenal, but the wins aren't there. The main wins aren't there. Brian mentioned the game against Dallas on a primetime event, and again tonight on Thursday. I don't like it either. I think they lose.
All right. I am, like I said, I'll give my pick tonight on the pregame show. I am thinking along the lines, the same lines as you, Harry. Over 4.5 total touchdowns is -134. This is not going to be a brutal head-smashing game, one in the trenches like it was with the Ravens and Steelers a few days ago. There's going to be a little more wide open. Similar stats, Harry. Pittsburgh, 4 of the last 6, they have 2 or more touchdowns. Vikings are 25th in touchdown passes allowed, so Ben should be able to open up at some point in the game. I don't know why it takes him forever to get going. Minnesota, 3 or more touchdowns in 5 straight games. So I think there's a nice prop here. Over 4.5 total touchdowns. You have to pay a little bit of wood here, minus 134. We'll go over the 4.5. Brother Bry, you like Big Ben to have his way too.
Yeah, well, the Vikings, Harry was saying they've been terrible defensively recently. They're one of the worst teams against the pass this season. They're bottom 10 in many categories. I think they've given up 21 touchdown passes on the season. Big Ben's thrown 2 or more in 3 of his last 4 games. And especially, the Vikings defense, for as bad as they've been, have been really bad the last 5 weeks. And when you give up, that type of game to Goff, you're not good. I have a feeling Deontay Johnson, I could see Freiermuth scoring in this game. So give me the 2 by Big Ben.
All right. Now, as much as you can like Big Ben all you want in this game, and I think he'll have a decent stat line here. But, Harry, this is risky. And at minus 108, I mean, good God, he's almost destined to play 2 bad quarters, and you like him to not throw a pick? So much could happen here.
True. But at minus 108, I do like it. And that's how we mentioned it a couple shows ago. Without pass rusher Danielle Hunter's out for the season from Minnesota. They've been really soft, 23rd versus the pass this season. Ben, just 6 total picks this season. If you take away the Bengals games, he's got 2 picks all season. 6 of his last 7 games, he has not thrown an interception. I'm going to go Big Ben. I think he's going to play a solid game. Get the W, get 20 points, and not throw a pick.
I'm picking this off the internet here. Big Ben leads the league in 209 dropped interceptions this year. No, I don't know if that's true. I mean, it just seems like every time he drops back, then he's got the one play, Bri, where every single game you don't know if it's a tuck rule play or not, if it's a fumble or a.
I was going to say that's the thing that's nerve-wracking. I mean, Harry's right. It's funny to think he hasn't really thrown that many, but there's going to be 1 or 2 passes he's going to get deflected right up in the air, and the ball's going to go up, and you're just like, oh, shit, hopefully that drops.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Parlay Kid, I think you're playing the safe.
Yeah.
The Steelers' defense rises to the occasion at least a couple times a game, and Kirk Cousins, even though his touchdown to interception ratio is one of the best in the league, if not the best, I think it was the best going into the game last week, you still like him throwing a pick.
Yeah, I debated going Cousins over 1.5 touchdown passes, but I have not hit on this all year, so I couldn't do that. So maybe this is a little bit of a hedge for me, being that I have Minnesota, but I'm going against Cousins here to throw 1 pick at plus or more at plus 130 here. Cousins in these primetime games is known to be a little bit of a choke artist here, and I still think he plays well, but this Pittsburgh defense, with Watt pressuring the quarterback, and the rest of them too, I think they'll force Cousins into a turnover. And like you said, it could happen at any time. Deflection into somebody's arms. I could see it happening here. Cousins seems to throw 1 in every big game minimum. So let's ride with that. I know it kind of goes against my Minnesota pick to cover the 3. So maybe this is a little bit of a hedge in the back of my mind.
There's so many turnovers these days. It doesn't matter. It seems to be one for every quarterback. Here's the other thing about this bet. You can get lucky if a team is ahead or behind. Like, right? What if it's before the half and he's throwing up a Hail Mary? That's nice for midfield, right? Or if it's at the end of the game and they're trailing, here comes another Hail Mary. You have an opportunity for 2 Hail Marys, 2 free interceptions. So plus 130 is not a bad number. All right, that is our side. Those are our totals. Those are our props, and we're going to give you our first touchdown picks.
Oh, yeah.
All right, first touchdown. Now, Bri, I don't know if you're keeping track of this. We're in the plus 80-something range, right?
Yep.
83, 84, 85?
Yep, right around
I don't know
there.
what exactly it is, but we hit Monday night. I had nothing great. I mean, it was plus, 850 for Harris to score first, 64-yard scamper through the middle. That was the only scoring anyone wanted to do in that stupid game. Patriots win. I'm going to jump back. We like the tight ends here. It's paid dividends. Tyler Conklin for Minnesota only has 3 total this year, but with Thielen out, he seems to be more of a target for Kirk Cousins. He had 9 targets last week. You get him down low, he's just as good as anybody else. Chances of catching a touchdown pass. 3 this year, 12-1. Tyler Conklin, maybe not the best odds, but I kind of like his spot there, being a big target guy for Kirk Cousins. Harry, what do you like?
Yeah, I'm going to bite here with a low number here with taking the running back from the Steelers. I'm going to take Najee Harris at plus 550. He's got 7 total touchdowns this year, 5 rushing, 2 receiving, 6 of his last 8 games, 21 or more carries. He's had at least 3 receptions in 7 straight games. And he had the first touchdown versus Seattle with a receiving touchdown when they played the Seahawks. And he had the first touchdown in the game on Monday night game, against Chicago a few weeks back, too. So Najee Harris at plus 550, first touchdown.
I feel like we shouldn't even give analysis anymore. We're just going to hit. Just trust us. I'm going to give a name. The trifecta is each going to give a name. You'll have 4 names to choose from. Bet them all, and you're going to win. Like, why? I'm not selling a used car here. There's gold in the trunk. Just take the car, right? Brother Bry, what do you like?
I like Deontay Johnson at plus 750. It's weird. He's quickly becoming one of the best receivers in football. I mean, last year he struggled dropping a ton of passes. This year he barely drops anything. Ben's targeted him 13 or more times in 5 of the last 7 games. He's got 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Vikings have gotten killed by wide receivers this year. They've given up 15 touchdowns to them. I think the second most fantasy points they've given up to wide receivers. He's going to have a monster game, I think, tonight. So I would take him at plus 750. He's 5th guy on the board. I feel like, he should be 2nd or 3rd guy on the board here.
Right. I think he's got 2 first touchdowns this year, too. 1 from 50 yards.
Look at that. Why didn't you take him, Harry? Not good enough.
A little more about the running back situation.
Like I said, it doesn't matter. We give you 4. Take all 4. Parlay kid, maybe you'll win today. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm taking Pat Freiermuth here, Sal, the tight end from the Steelers, who we like the tight ends here. The one thing that's different about this man Freiermuth is he doesn't stretch the field like some of these other tight ends that I like to take here. But at 10-1 for a guy that's scored 5 touchdowns in his last 6 games, he's really good value. If the Pittsburgh drives inside the red zone, I think he gets at least 1 target down there, if not more than 1, especially early. He's 6'5", 260. That's who you want to throw the ball to down there, Sal. Like you said, with Conklin on your end. I'll go with Freiermuth at 10-1. You're getting pretty decent value for a guy that's been hot inside the zone there.
Listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, like I said, we don't have to go through this. I picked the name. I have Tyler Conklin. I can tell you he's been doing cocaine all week. He's been on roller coaster. He doesn't know, he slept 18 hours. It doesn't matter. We're giving you winners. Just take it. Conklin 12-1, Johnson plus 750, Harris plus 550, and Freiermuth 10-1. There you go.